A furious rally, the vaunted pressure, all sorts of things, but the Jazz fall short to the Blazers, 136-134. It's next on POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz fall 136-134, and I'm going to set a little bit of a tone here. I think what's interesting about this show, Ron, I just said this on our postgame show with Tim and Jake, is the instinct is to talk all about the pressure defense and the Blazers style. But the fact is the Jazz scored 134 points and had an offensive rating of 120. So, yes, they forced some turnovers. They did some things. They play this different style. But if you told me the Jazz could have an offensive rating of 120 every night, they have the best offense in the NBA. So I don't think that's what determined this basketball game.
I can agree with that, David. Then you look at the Portland Trailblazers line there as well. Their shooting percentage was great. Their three-point shooting was great. Free throw percentage was great. Points in the paint, they outscored the Jazz by 2. Fast break points, they outscored the Jazz by 10. So that part of the ball game works for them in this ball game. Not sure it's going to work every night, but it worked in this basketball game here tonight.
You brought it up throughout the broadcast very, very well. The Jazz lose this game because, and if we back it up, I opened the broadcast tonight to saying to you, like, hey, I had prepped this team. I couldn't figure out what they run. I had no idea what they run, what they do. Well, they don't.
They don't run anything.
They just put their head down and drive and then play
draw and kick.
And the Jazz really could not keep the ball in front of them tonight.
Yeah, with the, let's put it this way, the Jazz start with Lauri and Kessler. Kessler had a pretty good offensive ball game, but once they put him on the perimeter, they were blowing by him.
Yep.
And then the draw and kick is in place where they were getting the uncontested threes. 55 3-point shots they took tonight.
So this gets interesting because I asked you a question during the broadcast that I told you I'd ask you on POSTCAST. Did anyone write the script here on that somebody else can follow? I actually thought the answer might be your answer was no. I'm going to flip here. I think they just got the answers yes. You get Kyle Filipowski, Lauri Markkanen, and Walker Kessler in space.
Okay.
And you can just drive the Utah Jazz all night long.
Okay, I agree with that. I thought you was referring to writing the script for the whole league.
Yeah. So, like, is this something the Jazz did Portland expose something? If you look at the Jazz isolation defense last year, Kyle Filipowski ranked 168 out of 190 players in isolation defense. Lauri Markkanen ranked 171st out of 190 players. Those are two of the worst isolation defenders in the NBA. If you're going to start those guys together, your Walker's actually pretty good in isolation because he's so long. You're going to have to deal with that is going to be something the Jazz have to deal with.
So you look at it two ways. If they're going to start Filipowski against this team, how can it work in the advantage of the Jazz against the personnel of the Portland Trailblazers? I don't know if it can.
Right.
Especially on the offense and on the defensive side of the ball. So I agree with you there.
First substitution of the third quarter, by the way, was Ace Bailey for Kyle Filipowski quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you can play Kyle Filipowski and Yusuf Nurkic together either, though. So I think you might have to stick with Kyle Filipowski playing with Walker Kessler. What's interesting, though, is we're not using Kyle. One of the reasons why Kyle's was in the game is because of his passing and his ball movement. We're not using him. He's not doing that right now. Because we're running through the 5 instead. We're running through Nurkic and Kessler, so they're not using Kyle in that fashion.
So what time is it, David?
Well, about 10 o'clock at night.
So how fast was this game? 2:36.
That's really long, isn't it?
Really long.
Yeah. And we got flight tomorrow. I mean, that was unacceptable for them to be. Weren't there 70,000 free throws?
It was, you mean free throws taken?
Yeah, didn't we take like 50 free throws tonight?
We had 49 3-point shots tonight.
49 free throws.
Free throws
okay,
tonight.
Here's my comment to that.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, Portland. I mean, they foul a lot, so you got to take 49 free throws. Like,
so the basic
But that's why it doesn't work. That's why my point. That's my point. Like, this defense of Portland doesn't work. Like, you can't do this.
Against other teams.
Yeah, the Jazz are not a good offensive team. Let's just be perfectly honest about it. Like, Lauri's awesome. We're not going to be a top 20 offensive team this year unless Will Hardy's really a master that in a way that's remarkable. We just don't have that. And we just put up a 120 offensive rating. This unique style of 40% of your possessions in the backcourt, all this pressure, all this stuff, like it's not going to work against good teams.
I agree. You know, we can break this down as much as we want. We're going to come to the same conclusion that the Jazz against a pressure team like this is not good.
Right. I mean,
if a team is let you execute, now the Jazz.
I'll even take it this far. The two things the Jazz were just awful at last year, I mean, dreadfully awful, were transition defense and turnovers. Right?
Right.
So what did we finish with tonight? We probably finished with 22 turnovers. It's not great, but Portland's the number one team in the league. We were averaging 22 a game last year. If that's what we're going to do against the team that forces 25% of opposing possessions, and I don't think that's that terrible. Like, that's a major step of growth for the Jazz to have 22 turnovers, not 29 in this game, frankly.
Yeah.
And then the other one was transition. And what was the fast break point total? 25. I don't think that's going to – I think if you start looking at that, that's not a lot for Portland. I think the Jazz actually showed a lot of areas of growth tonight from what the team that they have been the last 2 years, where they were just dreadful with the basketball and dreadful in transition.
So what you're saying is that next time these two teams meet, the Jazz will be better?
Probably.
And Will have a pretty good idea of what personnel he can have out there on the floor at certain times. Yeah.
We'll get the individual performance here in just 1 second, but today's show is brought to you by Monarch. Monarch is your own personal CFO in your pocket, in your phone, as an app. Between 401k, savings, investments, whatever it might be, you lose a little track. You're not quite sure what everything is. So that's why you start using Monarch, the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings you your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Don't let the financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at Monarch.com to get 50% off your first year. That's Monarch.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year, whether it's the categorizations, whether it's tracking your spending, whether it's getting a better handle on your investments, whether it's sharing it with your partner so you have shared goals, whatever it might be, the visual dashboards and smart tools make it so much easier to understand where your money is going and how to make it work for you. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at Monarch.com for 50% off your first year. That's Monarch.com/LockedOn, code LOCKEDONNBA. It's about time that you pay rent and have it work for you instead of against you. That's right. You've got to pay rent. The other options bad, but that's where Built comes in. Built is changing the game by turning your rent payment into real rewards you can actually use. When you pay rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed toward hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But Built isn't just about rent. It's also about rewarding around the entire neighborhood. Whether you're grabbing food at a local restaurant or heading to the gym, you'll still earn rewards. Built has made everyday life more rewarding, from your neighborhood to your travel plans. Turn your rent into rewards and start earning points around the neighborhood by going to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbuilt, JOINBILT.com/LockedOnNBA. Today's show also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, easy decisions, pick a little less or more, and you get paid. Don't miss the excitement of football season or basketball season, and where it's good to be right. Playing Prize Picks is such fun, simple way to add the excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections, whether it's Josh Allen's passing, Saquon Barkley's rushing. You're in the game. It's quick. It's easy. Prize Picks just added stacks. If you want to ride with a player, you can select that pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns all in one lineup. It's all taking place right now. There's a special max discount going on at different times, so stay tuned for all of that. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 on Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, let's get into some individual player performances. Lauri has 30. How big a deal is it that Lauri had 30 on the night after he has 51? In other words, a team trying to stop him is unable to do so.
I think it's a big deal that he continues to play that way. I mean, how many shots tonight? He took 32 against
19 shots.
And took 19 efficient shots. Very efficient, 10 for 19, 12 free throws, and it ended up with 32 points. I think it's big for him to think that way, that I have to score, I have to do a little bit more, not a little bit more, a lot more than what he did last season. So I think it's a big deal.
How did Keonte deal with the pressure tonight?
I thought Keonte played better in the second half. I thought he was a little more aggressive in the second half. If I remember right, he went to the free throw line, in that fourth quarter, quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Yeah, he ended up anyway with going 15 for 15, but 8 or 9 of those may have been in that fourth quarter.
Ace Bailey did make some shots tonight. Got it rolling a little bit. Went 3 of 5. He was still minus 17. He is just a plus-minus death tail right now. Every time he's on the floor, every night. What's your thoughts on what you're seeing out, Ace?
Well, it's going to be slow for him, especially with the Jazz trying to win and trying to get him out there on the floor to get as much experience as possible. And like I mentioned during the course of the basketball game, I'd like to see him in the ball game with 3 other starters, or maybe as many as 4 other starters. First of all, they can cover for him. Secondly, he gets more experience. And you put 2 or 3 rookies out there at the same time, everybody's making the same mistakes, In
the chat room, somebody said Sensabaugh's not getting shots. Is that because teams are aware of where he is?
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next ball game.
Okay.
Yeah, because this ball game here was not a Sensabau type. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Who are you? Oh, let's talk about Cody and Elijah. What do you think they did? I mean, did Will literally just open the fourth quarter and say, somebody guard the flipping ball?
That's, and I believe those words were just like you just said.
Well, I don't think he said flipping.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's been in Utah for a while, but I don't think he uses Utah language yet.
Yeah, and so he ran with them. I mean, Jazz got in the ball game, gave himself a chance, he stayed with them. I mean, it was like, okay, I got to bring these shooters in, I got to bring such and such back in because we're close enough to win the basketball game. But he rewarded those guys. They played 12 minutes in that fourth quarter, and the Jazz gave themselves a chance to win.
All right, your
mostly defense that they provided, though. It wasn't the points. It was the floor game and the defense.
All right, your Jazz notes tonight.
Let's go with both of those guys.
Anybody else?
Probably Lauri for sure.
32's got to get you, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
And are you giving Keys 16 of 16 from the free throw line? Might I move a Jazz note all by itself?
Yeah, absolutely. And then he ended up with 8 assists.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been steady.
He did have 6 turns tonight, but that's Portland.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say this. I don't want to be critical, but I just think it's worth noting. There are a lot of young players on this roster that are not getting Jazz notes. Like they are not finding their way right now. Like Keonte in his 3rd year, Walker in his 4th year, and Lauri right now are carrying this team.
Correct.
Carrying it. It's going to take time. It's a process, so let's not close the door on any of them. But it is worth noting that nobody else has made any jump right now of any sort. Now, I'm not sure I expected any of them to do that. To be fair, like if you were to ask me, like, well, who is it you thought was going to make the jump? Maybe Bryce, just because of his shooting, but I don't expect first-year players to make a jump in the second. Isaiah's been out. I don't expect Kyle to make a jump after he played his first. I just never do. I didn't expect Ace. Walt's been better than expected, but I didn't expect Taylor with a year off. Like, I didn't expect it. It's just worth noting it's not happening. That's not a criticism. That's just a comment in the sense of, like, it's worth noting. All right, 4 games into the season. They've all been fun, and that is the most important sign. That wraps up POSTCAST. We'll talk to you from Phoenix on Friday.